When we think about agricultural breakthroughs, we usually picture scientists in white lab coats, right? But what if the real revolution isn't happening under a microscope at all? What if it's happening out in the field, in the way knowledge is actually shared and owned by the people working the land every single day? Okay, let's really dig into this.
We're about to explore a pretty huge shift in how we think about farming knowledge. It's a move away from this old idea of a one-way street of information to something way more collaborative and community-driven, and it's literally transforming landscapes from the ground up.
Okay, so look at this. This slide lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old model, the top-down approach. That's where experts basically tell farmers what to do. But on the right, that's where the magic happens, community-driven innovation. Here, farmers and scientists are actual partners, creating solutions together. And that, right there, is a total game changer.
So, to really get how this works, let's think of it like we're building something. Let's call it an architecture of knowledge. We'll start with the foundation, the field is classroom. Then we'll put up the framework with resilience and a seed. Make sure everyone can get in with knowledge for all, see how it expands with ideas that grow, and finally, we'll look at the finished building. The future is stewardship.
All right, let's lay down that first pillar. This is where we see how the field itself is being transformed. It's not just a place for production anymore. It's turning into a dynamic, living classroom. And the heart of this idea is the farmer field school. But forget about desks and a chalkboard. This is a system that finally respects what farmers have always been, natural-born experimenters. I mean, they're the ones on the front lines, day in and day out, seeing all those little changes that nobody else would ever notice. And check this out. This is the process. It's a real structured learning cycle. Farmers see a problem, they come up with a hypothesis, an educated guess, and then they test it. Maybe they'll compare one plot using compost against another using chemical fertilizers. They see the results with their own two eyes. Then they tweak and refine things. It's science in action, but it's their science.
Okay, so we've got our classroom, but every classroom needs the right tools and equipment, right? Well, this next section is all about building that local backbone, the infrastructure that makes a farming community truly self-reliant and resilient. Now this is so cool. It's a community seed bank, and it's way more than just a place to keep seeds. You have to think of it like a living library of genetic solutions. Every single seed holds the code for traits that are perfectly suited for that specific place, like being able to handle a drought. It's basically the community's insurance policy against a changing climate.
And these seed banks don't stand alone. They're part of a whole network of local hubs. You've got community composting centers recycling local nutrients, so you don't have to rely on expensive fertilizers from halfway around the world. And you have these fascinating knowledge banks, where modern data gets blended with wisdom passed down for generations. You put all that together, wow. You get a seriously powerful, self-sufficient local system.
So we've built the structure, we've gathered the tools, but none of it means a thing without the people. This next pillar is absolutely critical. It's all about making sure this knowledge revolution includes everyone, especially women and young people. I just want to pause on this for a second. For far too long, in all the traditional systems, the huge scientific contribution of women farmers has just been completely ignored, undervalued.
But just look at what's really going on. When women are managing seed selection, they're literally practicing applied genetics. When they're in charge of a compost pile, making sure microbes break everything down, that's applied biochemistry. These aren't just chores, they are critical scientific tasks. So making sure women have equal access to training and tools isn't just nice, it's non-negotiable. And at the very same time, there's another incredible force at play. Young people are stepping up, and they're blending all this deep traditional knowledge with some seriously cutting-edge technology. They're completely changing the game.
And we are talking about very real tools here. We've got young innovators using smartphone sensors to get real-time soil data, using satellite mapping to check on plant health from space, and even flying drones to find erosion hotspots. This is the digital meets dirt revolution. And believe me, it is happening right now.
Okay, so we have the method, the infrastructure, and the people. So what's the last pillar on our architecture? It's figuring out how a great idea on one farm can catch on and spread to become a whole regional movement. So how do you scale this up?
Well, first, you need proof. And let me tell you, the numbers speak for themselves. We're looking at data that shows these nature-based practices can boost yields by 12 to 28%. And get this, in just 2 seasons. Now that is a powerful reason for a farmer to give something new a try.
This chart really just puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? You see the baseline with traditional methods, and then, boom, you see that leap in productivity. It's undeniable. And seeing that kind of success with your own eyes, that's what gets the neighbors talking. That's how you build momentum.
And this doesn't just happen by accident. There's a really clear three-step pathway. It starts with a demonstration farm, a living, breathing proof of concept. Then you get farmer champions, respected local leaders who take what they've learned and start teaching their neighbors. And that sparks these amazing learning networks, these knowledge corridors that spread the ideas across the whole region.
And so, here we are. We've reached the top of our structure. We've seen how the field becomes a classroom, how local infrastructure builds resilience, how including everyone makes it stronger, and how great ideas can spread. All of these pillars come together to support one big ultimate goal.
This quote, this really gets to the heart of it all. The goal isn't just about growing more food. When you empower communities with the right knowledge and tools, the entire focus shifts to something much, much deeper: true soil stewardship.
So what is soil stewardship, really? It's a philosophy. It's a profound shift in how we see things. The environment is no longer just a resource to take from. It becomes this vital asset that we have to care for and pass on. It's about building a healthier world, literally, from the soil up.
Which brings us to our final question, and this is really one for all of us to think about. It doesn't matter if you have a huge farm, a little garden, or just a single plant on your windowsill. What does it truly mean to you to be a steward of the soil?